What's going on, guys? Texans fan in rehab here. Let's go ahead and get into this prediction. Week 14, New York Jets versus Houston Texans in New York. 100% chance of precipitation. And you know what? That means that it's going to be a running game, to be honest with you. I don't expect to see CJ throwing for 300 yards this week. I don't think that would be part of the game plan, but we'll see what Bobby can put together as far as trying to get the running backs out of the starters' blocks. Hopefully, DP and Motor can do their thing out there this week. I'll be surprised if the receiving game is going to be a huge factor. Dalton Schultz is out this week, so Brevin Jordan's going to have to step up. What I expect to see on the field is basically it's going to be a sloppy game a little bit. The Jets have no offense, really. They got a solid defense, and so this is going to be on the defensive side of the ball on both sides to try to stop the run game. My prediction, Texans 17-10. Let's check it out after the game, man. Texas fan rehab, I'm out.
Man, do I have to cover what just... Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's go and cover what just happened. Sheesh. Most Texans type of game ever, man. Well, we can find a way to do it, can't we? You know, like it's amazing to me, man. As a Texans fan, I'm sure you guys know Texans lost to the Jets, 30-6, man. Like, who saw that coming, man? Who knew it was gonna be a trap game? I mean, all signs showed that it was gonna be. At first, we thought it was gonna be Boyle, and then apparently that stuff went awry. And then all of a sudden, we have Zach. I mean, who knew? Who knew that in bad weather, this dude could be Aaron Rodgers 2.0, man? I'm beside myself, man. Like, come on, man. Let's just get into it. Forget the fact that I was wrong on my pregame predictions. Forget the fact that, I was right also on the pregame predictions. I mean, the weather was crappy. The game was sloppy. The whole first half was trash. So I figured that the scoring was going to be low. I didn't have a problem with the first half, to be honest with you, outside of the fact that our receivers just couldn't get the butter off the off the fingertips, man. Couldn't get separation between themselves and the defensive players, man. And that was just it was amazing to see. But on top of that, man, we were all playing in the same conditions, man. That field is terrible. That field's got bodies on it. It's already claimed Aaron Rodgers has already claimed it. Almost claimed Zach, man, to be honest with you. But to just watch the way that they performed out there on that field, man, it was nothingness, man. And we've got a way of doing that, man. I mean, we've seen already this season that, Carolina, the only win that they have in the season is against us because we stooped to their level. You know what I'm saying? You saw how it went with the Atlanta Falcons, a game that we should have won. And one thing that's for sure, every time when we play these teams that are, I would say, lesser than, are supposed to be lesser than, for some reason we seem to make their quarterback game look like they're all-stars, man. I don't understand what that is, man. I mean, that can't all be on Bobby because obviously Bobby is holding down the offensive side of the game plan. But, what's going on with this defense where, we can't seem to step up and lock these things in and lock the game plan down, man. Of course, we saw some things that were anomalies. That happens every game. But, Aaron Rodgers 2.0 out there in the field, man, and in those conditions where he's slinging the rock around, man, this dude got Offensive Player of the Week, man. Come on. Incredible, man. Incredible, man. So this week, man, listen, this is going to be a rough one for me to do. I'm not going to lie to you because not only do we have to cover the Jets game, but we have to cover what's going to be the preview for the Titans game. And if you know me and the Titans history, yeah, I got some stuff coming this week, man. So let's get this thing over with, man. I'm gonna try to keep this thing short because I don't really want to do this one this week, man. I'll be honest with you. So, CJ Pimp Down, man. CJ Pimp Down, come on back, get healthy, bro. He went down with what looks like a concussion, and as you guys know, most concussions usually take a week or two for the guys to clear protocol. If we get him back this coming week, we'll be lucky. So, Mills Mafia, come on, stand up, man. I know y'all out there. Because, I mean, we've been hearing y'all talking noise all season with CJ. You know, even with CJ performing well, there's people that still been standing up for Mills. And although I don't see what Mills brings to the table, I mean, he's had more than a year's worth of opportunity with the team to try to show his wares and show that he's capable. You just haven't seen it. I mean, he just got basically knocked off the slab by a rookie quarterback all season long. So that shows you what Davis Mills is lacking, if that makes sense. Um, but Mills Mafia, man, I've been hearing from them all since the game ended, man. Like they ready to see what Davis is going to be able to bring. And to be honest with you, I don't think he's got anything that's going to be able to do anything against this next team. We'll cover that in a little while. But you know, this was a trap game. I mean, I should have called that in the preview. I don't know why I didn't call that in the preview because I've definitely seen it twice already this season. I don't think the Ravens game was a trap game because we didn't have any expectation at that point in time. But, you know, this was definitely a trap game, something where, you know, we could see the performance and the trajectory of the team that our opponent, and then we can see the trajectory of where we're on and potentially where we may go. Of course, playoff talk and all of that stuff is going down. We were looking like we were in control of our own destiny as long as the Jaguars, potentially could lose. But here we are, man. At least the good news, I guess you can say, is that the Jags and the Colts both lost, and so that kind of nullified any movement in that action. But we still need to take advantage of weeks like this where our competition is supposed to be lowly and we have an opportunity to do some things. But I mean, all things considered, in a bad weather game, I knew it was going to come down to the running game. Of course, our running game did not show up in effect like what they needed to. Although Singletary did have a little action, it wasn't anything that we could lean on for consistency. And of course, since DP has been back, we haven't gone that route to try to get Singletary to be, the man that he was, in those couple of weeks when DP was down. So I don't know what's up with that part of the game plan. All I can say is the game plan was greatly hindered by the receiving game. And who knew that? I mean, we knew Tank Dell was the dude, right? We knew Nico was the dude, but we had seen flashes from other guys on the team. We had seen obviously Robert Wood has been compelling all season because he's been somewhat of a not a go-to receiver, but a good outlet receiver for CJ most of the year. And since he's come back from his injury, he's really been quiet. We had good flashes from Noah Brown, especially in that Cincinnati game. And since the Cincinnati game, he's been nullified completely. Dalton Schultz was out this week, so of course we couldn't get much from him. I was expecting to see, as I said in the preview, I was expecting that Brevin Jordan was going to step up. I mean, he had a couple catches for a couple yards, but again, nobody really did anything. I mean, CJ had his worst performing game before the injury. He had his worst performing game, and it wasn't even close. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know what to say for the passing game, man. I know these guys couldn't get open, but even when they were open or somewhat close to open, man, like couldn't catch the ball to save their life. Couldn't catch Cole in the freezing storm, man. It was amazing, man. So I don't even really want to get into the statistics of it. I don't even want to dig deep in the dirt with it because I just think this is one of those throwaway games that what the outcome was. You performed like trash. The whole team and the whole nation could see it. I hate that it was against a team like New York where they get so much national attention and it makes it look like New York really balled and did something. New York really didn't do much of anything. It was just the fact that we just didn't show up. Defense, I was really disappointed on the defensive side of the ball. Now, we lost a lot of guys in this game. I don't know if that was a turf monster or whatever. Nico Collins was out early in the game. Blake Cashman was out. I could go down the list. There was a number of guys that were out of this game. And so when you're working with a depleted offense and defense at that point in time, the game plan looks different. And, your ability to adapt in game is what's going to happen. We haven't seen that out of Bobby Slower yet. We haven't seen his ability to be able to transition from, this is what we entered the game with to, okay, this is what we have now. We'll do some things. We definitely saw that from the Jets side, man. I mean, Zach wasn't sitting there trying to chunk the ball down the field a whole lot. He was dinking and dunking, but I mean, man, he was sliding that pass, man. Like it was, it was amazing to see because I was like, you've never seen this out of this dude this whole time, man. You've never seen him slinging his rock around, to the edges like this. And to be honest with you, man, I was surprised that there wasn't more press coverage, more man coverage. There was a lot of zone. And I mean, I did see some press coverage. Let me take that back. I did see some press coverage more than what I would usually see. But even with that, they got out of position real quick. I mean, I don't know if that was because of the slipping and sliding or the turf or whatever. But Garrett Wilson, man, like, dude was like Dante Adams 2.0 all over again. Like, this is amazing. As you can tell, man, I'm just flabbergasted, man. I just, I couldn't imagine what I was seeing out there on the field. That, and it just, so anyway, man, we keep losing these winnable games or these against these winnable opponents. Let me not say this was a winnable game, but against these opponents that these should be wins. It makes it difficult for us to set predictions and say, okay, yeah, that should be a win, that should be a loss. Now, on one hand, we're playing with house money, right? Like most of us, we didn't expect that we'd be at this point of the season with 7 wins. Cool. But then on the other hand, we still have 4 games left to go, man. So, the sky's the limit for us. So as Michael Jordan would say, the ceiling is the roof. So, it's amazing to see what we can have the opportunity to do. But now we got to, what does it look like now? I mean, is CJ back? Is CJ out? That's really going to be the main predictor to what our team is going to look like moving forward because, Nico Collins being out and, what's his injury status? I'm just, man, like, I'm sure a bunch of y'all out here feel kind of like me, man, kind of that whole dejected feeling or whatever. Just, it's completely unexpected that a team can give you so much, be out, outside of the box or beyond expectation performance, and then at the same time turn around and be so drastically in the opposite direction. It's almost as if you have no middle ground here to really get a definite feel for what kind of team you have. And I imagine that's got to be frustrating for Coach D'Amico, man, because as a coach, you definitely want to know who you're putting out there on the field. You want to know what you're getting back from these guys. And I mean, this is still year 1, so you got to look at this kind of like Deion's Colorado team where you were coming in with some dogs, but at the same time, you had some bums and you was trying to replace a whole bunch of people at the same time. So, what do you really have? It's something that I hope that this team figures out real soon. Being that we're so far into the season, I would hope that I thought that they would have had a lot of this transition figured out. But, here we are, man. Oh, man. Amendola missed another kick, so gone. You know what I'm saying? Kaimi Fairbairn is going to be back this week. Glad to see him back, man. Hopefully he's got everything together. He's completely healed. And we don't have to even think about that part of the game anymore because the kicking game shouldn't be a piece that we need to concern ourselves with so much. But obviously we already lost at least one game because of the kicking game. So we definitely want to make sure that we have him back in good state, in good stead rather. Yeah, the defense, we got to figure out who's going to step up. I mean, we just got full health back, going back to the Denver Broncos game. And so, it'd be nice to see who's going to step up and fill in those big holes that's going to be out there on the field, man. But, you know what, man? I'm tired of talking about this game, man. Enough of that, man. We're going to move forward, man. So, the Tennessee Titans are next up on the docket, man. And, of course, Tennessee being who they are, man, listen, this is what we're going to expect. We're going to face Tennessee in their jerseys, those beautiful, beautiful Houston Oilers jerseys. So they're going to throw that in our face, number 1. Number 2, Derrick Henry has been kind of a mainstay for that organization, man. That they try to run them down our throat. Pause. So we can expect that that's going to be part of the game plan. If you look at his statistics, man, over the last, I think 5 times that he's played the Texans, he's put up, all pro, all Madden numbers, man. 200-yard games and crazy stats and all kind of stuff, man. It's stupid. So I think that D'Amico is definitely going to take some pride in trying to make sure that they knock Derek off his square. Derek is going to definitely try to do his thing, and the coaching staff is going to try to, the Titans coaching staff is going to try to force the issue with making us have to see Derek. Tennessee Titans are coming off of a very strong victory. Let's just be real about it, man. Like, they were losing to the Miami Dolphins, and they had like a 14-point, they overcame and scored 14 points in the last like 3 minutes of the game. It was crazy. Will Levis actually performed, what I thought that he wasn't capable of. He actually, he went in Hulk mode or something like that and just started slinging the rock around there. Now, mind you, the Dolphins were a little short-handed, had some injuries, a key injury to Tyreek Hill, but that still shouldn't have stopped their game plan. That shouldn't have stopped their performance and what they were doing out there on the field. And for them to stop short of being able to close that game out was tough to see, to be honest with you, for a team that's been performing as well as they have. But Will Levis stood up, man, and of course in that mix of who stood up with him, our boy Nuke, D-Hop, man. Golly, I wish that the Texans would have signed that boy, man, because he's definitely showing that he's still that dude. D-Hop was out there, man, grabbing everything in sight. You threw it in his vicinity, and he was snatching it up. Of course, that's all, D-Hop, that's all we've ever known of D-Hop. You put it in the general range of where he's going to be at, he's going to come down with the ball. And so, not only do we have to face former coach of the Houston Texans, not only do we have to face Derrick Henry and what he's going to be bringing, not only do we have to face D-Hop and the familiarity there and what he might want to bring to kick our ass again, but then we got to look at those Oilers jerseys too. So it's going to be a lot that we're going to be facing with this Tennessee game, and this matchup looks extremely different if we don't have C.J. Stroud, to be honest with you. Short C.J. Stroud, short Tank Dell for sure, possibly short Nico Collins, possibly short Dalton Schultz, possibly short, whoever else. And if we can't get anybody to stand up in the running game or the passing game, man, it's going to be a tough one to put some predictions on this week. I mean, as much as I want to rock with my boys thick and thin, there's history here with this one. I mean, it just is. There's history here with this one. And I mean, there's no other organization that's been the middle finger representation to the city of Houston than the Tennessee Titans. As long as they've been in existence, that's what they've been about. I mean, just off the strength of the fact that, off the rip, just leaving Houston, taking the jerseys with them, taking the colors with them. Even this year, we're putting a cease and desist on, schools like U of H for the sweet ass jerseys that they had going on early in the season. Like, this franchise, Tennessee, this franchise is definitely one that they rival us, and they made that their mission. You know what I'm saying? So it would be nice for us to be able to stand up. I mean, we've had times where we've overcome and put them away and all of that stuff, but then at the same time, y'all remember the Vince Young situation.
Throw it. If it's not there, let him run it. Get it closer. Here come the blitzers. Vince Young on the run. Vince Young inside the 30. Off he goes. Vince Young inside the 20, the 10. It is over. Vince Young has done it again.
So we definitely need to put some of this stuff, away and be able to sustain who we are, our identity as a franchise, and separate ourselves from the torment that the Tennessee Titans have tried to bring to us as a franchise. Now, we have, the Titans twice in the next couple of weeks, so we're going to have to definitely put something together on the film, man, that, this is going to be a make or break time for us, whether we get into the playoffs or we don't. This is definitely going to be something to represent for us moving forward. And I think that, we have the opportunity to have Tennessee on the ropes with their coaching staff and everything, because they're definitely underperforming this year. But, man, if we can't kick their ass at least once, we're going to have to see them boys again next year, man. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to have to see them boys again next year. So, listen, this was a sucky episode. This was a sucky week to have to report after. I mean, of course, I handle close losses worse than I handle big losses. So at least that part we didn't have to suffer through. But the injuries don't make it any better. CJ, man, we're praying for you, bro. We want you to come back and be healthy. Praying for a speedy recovery. Come back healthy. You know what I'm saying? Take care of the brain. Take care of your body. The rest of these guys that are injured, man, we praying for you guys for a healthy return back to the field as well, man. But we want to see what's the good product that's going to be out there. Coaches, this is on y'all, man. This is on y'all. What y'all can put together. And I think D'Amico stood up for that. He definitely didn't shy away from that in his last press conference. He stood there, took it like a man, and said exactly what it was. There was nothing to take away from this game. There was nothing for us to look forward to in that game with those results. And we have to figure out what we're going to do as coaches. So I respect that, man. So let's put it out there on the field, man. Let's come up with a game plan. Let's see how it works. Let's make it happen, man. But till then, Texas fan of rehab, man. Let's bring these boys on, man. I'm out.